Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video, and this is day 2 of the Cold War multiplayer beta. And for this video, I want to talk more about zombies, take a break from multiplayer. I did that yesterday. It's a really fun multiplayer. It's definitely not as difficult as Modern Warfare. It's going to be a more fun gameplay, I noticed. All the guns and the movement are a lot easier and more agile. But for this, I just want to take a break and do a zombies Easter egg that I found in the game. Didn't see many people find it or post about it, so I want to kind of just go ahead and it's going to be also storyline. I'm going to explain some stuff from the storyline that people don't know yet. It's probably like 99% going to be what the storyline is going to be about for Transit and maybe the rest of the DLCs. Or the seasons, actually. It's more seasons now than it is DLCs. So as you can see, this is the truck from Transit from Black Ops 2, and the photo, or sorry, screenshot, is really blurry. I can't remember if I did it with my with my cell phone at the TV, or if I actually did a screenshot from Xbox, or it's just that technology has changed so much. But that's what the truck looks like in Transit. I'm just gonna call it the red tractor trailer from Transit. It's in a couple locations. I believe it's in town, maybe even the bus depot. I know it's definitely for sure it's in town by the bank. So that is it's a Transit Easter egg that's in the multiplayer for the beta. Just want to show you the reference of what truck I'm gonna show you. So in the new Cartel map, the same truck, obviously in a super high definition version, updated, is now in the back of the Cartel map. And that's the thing with some of these Easter eggs, they're hidden the back corners of the map where you have to go look for it, and you have to maybe notice it and know the reference of it. So it looks like obviously it's the same truck, but a super high definition version of the truck from Transit. Don't remember if it was in any other map in Black Ops 2, but it definitely is in Transit. So that's just to show you the Easter egg, but I want to actually talk about the storyline in the storyline for Cold War Zombies. And this is what they also did in Black Ops 4, but Zombie Chronicles looks like it got scrapped for Black Ops 4. And that's the truth. And I mentioned it in the previous video. There's a lot of zombie YouTubers that lie to their subscribers. They pretend they know what's coming, and they just make a new video lying, saying that it got changed. But this is one of the things that I can generally say changed in Black Ops 4. Obviously because of Corona and maybe some other reasons. But the same truck was hinted at in Black Ops 4, and with Misty and Victus coming back, it looks like we were going to get some of the remastered, remade maps. But I'm glad they changed it for Cold War, because it looks like the storyline is going to fit a lot better, rather than just throwing us the maps. So I'm going to go quickly through the storyline for Die Machine. I mentioned it previously again in a breakdown, and I'll link that so you can kind of get maybe a better explanation of maybe some other stuff that people missed. So the machine that's referenced in the map, it's actually a particle accelerator. The largest particle accelerator on Earth is in pretty much Europe, kind of the same location where some of these maps might be. I believe it's in Switzerland, maybe around France, that part of Europe. I don't want to exaggerate and say it's close to Germany or Morasco, but it's around there. It's called the Large Hadron Collider, and what a particle accelerator does, it smashes particles together, hoping to create new particles. And I'm guessing, and this is real life stuff, I'm guessing humans are trying to create new particles to understand how the universe got started, and then also maybe trying to create their own mini black holes and understand how black holes are created. And who's to say that maybe hundreds of years from now, and this is real life stuff and it's scary, but it's real life stuff that like humans are trying to figure out time travel or just traveling across the universe. And this might be the first step in humanity's way of trying to figure out how to create a black hole. And the idea, or a wormhole, black hole, the idea is maybe if you go inside a black hole, is that you'll come out another part of the universe. Let's say you want to travel from our universe, or I'm going to go through some other stuff, but because there's a lot of different ideas what scientists want to do. But let's say, and people don't know too many about black holes because we can't really get close to any. But let's say you want to, some theories are that you can go through a black hole and then you'll come through the other side in another part of the universe. Like let's say you want to travel 1,000 light years or something like that. Because a light year it takes 365 days going at a certain speed, at the speed of light, to reach a certain part of the universe. But it gets complicated. So in a couple movies, and that's why I have the Treyarch thing looking like Netflix, and it looks like it's gonna borrow the idea from the Cloverfield Paradox, which in the movie they put a particle accelerator out of space. They said it's too dangerous to do it on Earth because if they succeed, what can happen is they can accidentally blend dimensions and universes together. And what happens is, let's say there's 10 different or 5 different dimensions or universes. One has like zombies, one has like monsters, one has like let's say like vampires, werewolves, stuff like that. Aliens, maybe cryptids from extinction, just to kind of give you a reference. Each dimension, if you collide particles together violently, and this was the idea back in the 60s with nuclear war, why people were scared about nuclear bombs, is we're pretty much exploding nukes at high temperatures and high speeds, and who's to say that we're not going to rip the space-time, the fabric of space-time? And the idea of space-time is, kind of think of it like a sonic boom, where you can actually rip past the sound barrier. And let's say that dimensions and universes have their own barrier. If you're exploding particles really fast and really violently, and a lot of them, and like a huge amount of it, who's to say you're not going to accidentally rip dimensions into each other? So that's where the movie Cloverfield Paradox comes in, and just the idea, and real life ideas, not just from a movie, because the movie actually borrowed ideas from real life theories and science and stuff like that, where this is the first time we're doing stuff with a lot of things. We don't know the ramifications down the road, but a lot of times we're doing stuff that we don't know what we're doing, kind of like opening Pandora's box almost and stuff like that. Like you're trying out new stuff that like you don't really, because of I guess the monetary value and greed, we don't care if we destroy humanity. We just want to create a machine and make millions and billions of dollars off of it. And that's the sad thing about humans. I know the Die Machine map probably isn't going to go into that stuff. It's probably just going to be some evil person, maybe Mephistopheles, maybe Monty, maybe the Shadow Man, maybe Samantha, that for some reason they want to capture all the dimensions or something like that. Or more than likely it's going to be the Omega Group that wants to somehow travel through dimensions or capture dimensions, or maybe just be evil and want monsters to take over certain dimensions and stuff like that. Or they could be trying to solve a problem, who knows. So this is where Transit comes in. Transit, Buried, Die Rise, Black Ops 2, the whole concept, and you can see how they parallel each other. In Black Ops 2, when Richtofen sent the rockets from Moon, or was it or Maxis, one of the two. I think it might have been both. I think it was actually Maxis. When Maxis sent the 115 rockets to Earth, the theory back then, which I don't think was ever verified or confirmed by anybody at Treyarch. Um, but the theory or idea, I'm going to say idea, and I hate saying it that way because it sounds like I'm from New Jersey, which I am. But the idea is that the nukes ripped open and displaced stuff in the universe. When the nukes exploded violently on Earth, it propelled Washington State um, and Colorado, and the buses from Colorado, transit buses from Colorado. And there are zombies in hospital gowns, and there's actually a Hanford Hospital from California. So a lot of people might not know this, but it's kind of a theory of my own, and I haven't really discussed it. But there's a Hanford Asylum in California. So when let's say this, when the nukes hit Earth, it sent the zombies from California. It sent the bus from Colorado. Um, Even maybe the bus depot. The bus depot in real life, I believe it's in like South Carolina or down south somewhere. It's a Greyhound bus down south. And Consolidated Coach Corporation is a real was a real thing. You can look that up. So I think the bus depot even transported from another state, and he all ended up in Hanford site, Green Run, Hanford site, Washington State. So that's the same concept that's going to happen in Cold War. Because we're colliding particles together, we're screwing around with the space-time, and we're going to send stuff from Germany, uh, Morasco, and all that stuff, and that's how a lot of people don't know this, but it could be how certain things are going to be starting transporting in certain areas. Let's say when I'm not going to talk about Die Machine because not that many people. Well, I can go by what transit, and it's kind of the retelling of the story, but not using nukes, but using a particle accelerator. But let's stick again with the older maps. Let's say we do get remastered, Buried Transit Diaries. So also another example is in Buried, we have an old Western California American town that gets transported underneath Angola coal mine or diamond mine. I think it's a diamond mine in Africa. So what happened? Same idea. When the nukes hit Earth, they displaced a lot of I think it was more tectonic plates and stuff like that. It transported certain locations, and then also the whole maybe plates that make up the crust of the Earth. But think about that now in Cold War terms. That's going to be released in November, or think of it in terms of Die Machine. When we accelerate particles at high and a large amount at high speeds, you start ripping the fabric of space-time, and you're going to get other universes blending into other universes. And it could be the same idea that they're going to do with the maps, is now we're going to have different maps, different locations blending into new maps and new locations and stuff like that. Let's just say we get, for the sake of it, I don't know how many maps you're going to get, but let's say we get Verrückt. Who's to say now Verrückt isn't going to be like I mean, Verrückt was in Germany, Nocturne Toten was in Germany. Who's to say those maps aren't going to get transported? I don't know what else. Maybe Miami or something like that. That would be kind of cool. Let's say now Verrückt gets transported in Miami. You know, Verrückt was originally in Germany. Same thing was like in a burnt-out forest. There was a lot of fire and around it and stuff like that. Like, how cool would that be now? Or maybe Verrückt gets transported to Washington State, and that's going to maybe explain the concept of the hospital gowns and the zombies. Let's say now you get the Verrückt zombies also in transit. But it's going to be kind of strange. But before Noct got transported to transit, this time Noct might have gotten transported somewhere else. But let's say the same concept with, like I said, Varrock. Let's say now Varrock gets transported also to transit and stuff like that, or California, or a whole nother state, or a whole nother country, um, maybe like Africa or something like that. And let's go one more step further. Let's say we get like another remaster. Let's say Shangri-La is now instead of Japan, now it gets transported into Australia or something like that. So who's to say that can't happen? But it looks like that's where we're going. What happens, and you have to research it yourself. Research like particle accelerators, the Large Hadron Collider, and you could also create dark ether, dark matter with particle accelerators. So that's something that they might be looking for also. Maybe the different countries like Germany, US, China, Japan, um, Germany, Russia. So they might be looking or messing around with particle acceleration, trying to create dark matter so they can like maybe make their weapons better and stuff like that, or have an advantage in the war. Time travel, space travel, and that's the thing too. Time travel is actually literally going in time, but what happens if you just want to stay in the same time but go somewhere really fast? Um, so I'm gonna say that's like space travel, I guess, in a way. But that's just some ideas what should be coming for Cold War zombies. That the whole concept, and I just want to leave you with this: the whole concept for Cold War on a micro scale and a macro scale is blending or smashing universes and particles together. So on the micro scale, we're smashing particles together. On the macro scale, um, you could be blending a lot of stuff together. You could be blending locations. As you saw, the Nova 6 dogs and the crawlers got blended. There's a photo of Brutus and the Russian Mangler that got collided and blended together. So you have to realize when the Treyarch devs, they have an insanely high IQ. When you figure this stuff out, if you choose to figure it out, most people don't. They just want to kind of put a video out, make a couple dollars, and be happy with it. But there's like maybe just one or two people that really want to know what's going on or what's coming. But you got to look at it on the micro scale and the macro scale. The whole idea of the map is going to be colliding, blending stuff together. As you can see already in the trailer, that Brutus got blended with a Russian Mangler. The Nova 6 Crawler got blended with a dog. I think one of the soldiers got blended with something else. Maybe in the Pack-a-Punch machine. The Pack-a-Punch machine maybe got blended with something because it looks very different. It actually looks like it got blended with the jet gun, which some people might have missed that. They might have got forged together. So that's the big concept that it looks like it's going down, and how I wanted to explain it with the Easter egg that's in Cold War multiplayer. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll see you guys later.